Welcome to Cooking with Cindy, the winter holiday edition. Today we will be making mince pie. A lot of you probably don't know what mince pie is. Before I married Peter, I had no idea what it is. It's a very British thing. I'm married to a Brit, so he insists that we have mince pies for Christmas. So I've been making mince pies. So this is a recipe from the BBC. Can't get more authentic than that, right? So you will need minced meat. No, it's not your regular meat. Minced meat is basically dried fruits, right? What is it? It's a wet fruitcake filling. So you don't really find this at the regular supermarket unless you're in England. But I ordered this on Amazon. And what I like to do is I like to use a mini muffin pan, right? Because mince pies can be very rich and you only need a bite full. So that's why I like to do them in mini muffin size, only because regular muffin size will just be too big or too much, right? Okay, so we'll use this whole jar of minced meat. My little trick in opening the jars. Let's see if this works. Oh, it did. Okay, well that was easy. See, this is what minced meat looks like. It's like, what's in here? Sugar, apple, vine fruits, raisins, currants, citrus peel, etc. Then you're going to want to finely chop one apple, right? Just to give it a nice freshness to the filling. I'm actually going to get another knife. I'm going to get this big bad boy. I'm going to add this chopped apples to the mix. You want two satsumas. These aren't satsumas. These are tangerines. Satsumas are a bit bigger. You're going to want the segments here. So how you get the segments is to cut it like this. It's easier when it's a bigger tangerine, but it's okay. We're just going to chop this, so it's not going to make that much of a difference. And the reason why you want to grab the segments is because you don't want the, I don't even know what this is called. It's much harder to do when it's small. Remove the seeds. And then mix this together. And then you're going to want a zest of 1 lemon. And these are tiny lemons, so I'm actually going to do 2 of them. These are actually Meyer lemons, tiny Meyer lemons. So they're super fragrant. I mean, gosh, if only you can smell this right now. It's so perfumey in a good way. Okay, then you mix this baby up. And then we're going to set it aside and make our pastry. Now to make the pastry, I've measured out the flour and the sugar. So I'm just going to mix it together. You want to make sure you have unsalted butter that's softened. Then you're going to add 1 beaten egg. And softened butter. And then we're just going to use our hands to mix it together. I'm going to dump this out. Okay, see how it's kind of forming? And then you want to form it into a ball. And then we're going to put saran wrap over this and put it in the fridge for 10 minutes for it to cool and harden a little bit. And then we're going to take it out and then bake it. Okay, so we took it out of the fridge. I am going to lightly flour this and then flour my rolling pin. And then I want to slowly roll it out till it's maybe 1/8 of an inch thickness. When rolling, you want to make sure you just roll it in one direction and not roll it back and forth like that. Okay, I think that's pretty thin. Maybe just a little bit more. Do you see the thickness here? I have a cookie cutter here. I want to say it's 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches. Try to get them as close as possible to maximize and get as many cuts as we possibly can. See that? Then we're going to put it, so I'll just stretch it out a little bit more. It's a little bit too thick. So I'm going to beat an egg, right? Because I need to seal the top. So I'm going to do an example for you here. So just a spoonful in there like that. Okay. Then my brush. Okay. So you actually don't need to butter the pan only because there's so much butter and sugar in this. You might want to do maybe a bigger circle than what I did. Stretch it out a little bit so then it fills up this hole. Okay, now for the filling. This is very forgiving, meaning it doesn't need to be perfect because you're going to sprinkle powdered sugar over it and then it's going to cover any flaws if there's any. Okay. I'm just going to re-roll this now because it's starting to melt a little bit. So little bit more flour. When you don't have enough flour on your rolling pin, it will stick to the dough. That should be good enough. Okay. You know, if you don't seal this, right, with egg yolk, what's going to happen is, because I've done this before where I forgot, what's going to happen is when you bake this, the top is just going to separate from the bottom. So it won't be intact, meaning it won't be one piece. Okay. Tuck it in. Tuck that in. So we're gonna put this in the oven at 350 degrees for 15 to 20 minutes. It'll probably be ready in 15 minutes. But do you see how it's not even perfect? But it's okay. It doesn't need to be perfect because it's gonna bake and it's gonna form its shape and it's gonna be beautiful. Let's go. Okay. We wait. Okay. So every oven is different. So in my oven, this particular oven, it takes a little bit longer for it to bake. So you'll know when it's ready is when it has a nice golden brown, right? What you're gonna wanna do is let it cool for a bit and then we'll pop it out. Okay, so it's now cooled off and we're gonna lift this. You just have to be quite patient with this, right? Look at that. I was really nervous for a second. But how beautiful is that? I told you that it doesn't need to be perfect, right? It's still sealed. It's in one piece. It's a tiny little piece on a very big plate. I'm gonna get powdered sugar. And then we're gonna sprinkle the powdered sugar over it. Look at how pretty that is. It's like, this is Christmas. And then you can either eat this by itself, right? I love how it's bite-sized. But the very English way to do it, and the very Peter way to do it, my husband Peter, is he loves to eat it with heavy whipping cream. So I'm gonna do it Peter style. Okay, let's take a bite. So delicious. It's an English tradition. You must have it. You should try it. It's perfect.